Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. The September 21st Wembley Stadium Riyadh season card, the undercard I'm talking about now. I've heard an awful lot of people say, this is really disappointing. It's not good. And I think this is really an indication of how spoilt we've been. And this is the problem whenever you get gluttony, because more is never enough. Now, I've got to be honest, by the way, I'm not pointing fingers at anyone, because when I first read through it, I thought, that's a little bit flat. So we're all prone to being spoiled, myself included. But actually, if you analyse it, it's actually a pretty good undercard. I'm going to leave aside the argument of pay-per-view, all right? Forget about that. I'm not even going to go there. I'm just going to talk about the fights on their own merit. And I don't think this is a bad card, because you've got, apart from the main event, which is AJ versus Dubois, which I think is a very good heavyweight matchup, two guys who faced adversity coming together. Both have sort of seemingly regained their confidence, and they're clashing in a... Are they different generations? I suppose, yeah, you could say they are. Dubois still very young at 26, but to come through two defeats where he essentially quit, very different defeats, but you could certainly make the argument that he quit in both. And Joshua, of course, back-to-back defeats to Usyk. Both these guys have had their, auras of invincibility, or however you want to phrase it, destroyed. And then they've rebuilt. And they've rebuilt very impressively, I think, both of them. Especially Dubois. Those last two performances have really answered some questions. So that's good. But the undercard itself, you've got some sort of strange sort of curios in the mix there. Because I think the one that stands out for me is Buatsi versus Hutchinson, because Hutchinson's coming off that excellent win over Spider Richards. I picked Richards to win. I think most people did. Hutchinson answered a lot of questions up at the higher weight. He was super middleweight, got stopped, as we know, by, was it Lennox Clark, stopped him, knocked him out in 5, I think it was. And then, he moves up, has a few wins, takes his chance against Richards with both hands. And now his confidence must be through the roof. This is how you bring a guy on from a defeat, and Queensbury Frank Warren is very, very astute at doing this. And Dubois as well is another example of how you bring someone back from a defeat, or a couple of defeats. So, and then you've got Buatsi, who people might argue has sort of underachieved since being an Olympic bronze medalist, 2016. Perhaps should have fought for a world title already. This is for an interim belt. Then you've got Anthony Kakache, fresh off his win over Joe Cordina. Excellent win. He looked very, very good, although Cordina looked flatter than Norfolk. Probably weight drain, I think, Cordina. But I don't want to take anything away from Kakache. His performance was excellent, and he fought with real intent and motivation. In against Josh Warrington, I made a video about whether Warrington deserves another shot at a world title so soon. In my opinion, he doesn't, but stylistically, that's a decent matchup. Tyler Denny, coming off a brilliant win over Felix Cash, defended his EBU title. Again, an underdog who came good, fighting Hamza Shiraz. Huge middleweight, coming off a brilliant win over Ammo Williams. He stopped Austin Ammo Williams. Then you got Mark Chamberlain, who is Turki Al-Sheikh's favourite fighter, supposedly, fighting Josh Padley. I know very little about Josh Padley other than what I've read. I've probably seen him, but I can't remember watching it, so it couldn't have stuck in my mind. Looking at his record, this is a huge jump up for him to fight Chamberlain, and I think Chamberlain's got to be a red-hot favourite in that fight. But look, so you break it down and you think, it's all right, it's good. It's a good card. It's... Again, I'm leaving aside whether you've got to pay pay-per-view for it. Never mind that. Just on its merits, the fight's on their merits as an undercard for a world heavyweight, title fight. It's decent. It's a good card. But we've been spoilt. We've had all these sort of blockbuster bonanzas, the one before Christmas, Day of Reckoning, it was called. And we've had the 5 versus 5, which was brilliant. And so suddenly we've got to come down a couple of levels, not to the point where we're in the basement or even anywhere near it. And suddenly people say, this is rubbish. Well, what a rubbish undercard. And it's not rubbish. It's actually quite good. It's just not up to the high levels of what people have come to expect. And this is the problem whenever you get, like I say, gluttony, whenever you get people stuffing their faces, they get used to you know, getting fat and flabby and flatulent, and you know, everything's too much trouble, and you get soft, and you don't appreciate some things that might not be so obvious, but could end up being, in this case, really good fights. I mean, Boatsy Willie Hutchinson might turn out to be a fantastic fight. Even Kakachi Warrington. I don't think Warrington deserves this fight. That's certainly not up at super feather. But when you think about the styles, they could gel to be a very, very good, you know, matchup. Josh Kelly and Liam Smith. Did I mention that one previously? I mean, that's a curious fight. It's a bit sort of out from left field, a bit of a curio, like I said. But yeah, Kelly versus Smith. When you think about the styles, okay, definitely a crossroads fight. Could deliver. So let's not be too spoilt. Let's not be entitled. Let's not be brats about this. This is a decent card, and it will sell out in a flash. I mean, Wembley Stadium, people will want to be there to see AJ and Dubois. I mean, I think that's a very good headline card, very good headline fight. Can't complain about that at all. And, you know, we got, what was it, 2, 4, 5 fights, decent fights on the undercard. They may even add another 1 or 2. You know, you can recognise that it's not as good as the bonanzas that we've had recently over the last 6 months, a year. But please, all this idea that it's just a load of rubbish is way, way, way wide of the mark. You know, I'm gonna play the old man card now, and I'm going to say that when I was in my teens and my early 20s, you know, boxing before the internet, obviously, and all this stuff. Boxing, you might get it once a month, maybe on telly. If you wanted to watch any of the foreign fights, you had to order them on old VHS tapes that were advertised in the back of Boxing News, Boxing Monthly. But trust me, we are spoilt beyond belief, you know, in so many different ways regarding entertainment. Not just boxing, but access to movies, watching TV shows whenever we want, streaming stuff. I mean, you've died and gone to heaven if you're from my generation. So yeah, just a few thoughts on this undercard. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? What fights do you like the look of? What do you think might spring a surprise? And what fights? What's the fight that you were hoping to see but hasn't materialised yet? Let me know. Let me know all your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. As always, please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit the like button and spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. Much love to all of you. I'll get you later. Bye for now.